Hello everybody, this is Tiffany Jaye, TJ 10 minutes with me. So I wanted to talk today about something that's been on my heart for the last week about being an example and what that means to me, how I'm trying to accept it more and more each and every day as I move forward in my career, as I move forward in music, as I move forward as an artist, as I move forward with my friends, family, everything that life, everything that is in my life. So one, I find that being an example, it gets pretty difficult to maintain that level of, I don't want to say status quo, but the standard, I guess, whatever standard you set. Everyone could be here, but you're trying to like stay here. And what I find is, when I talked about the art of pacing and craftsmanship, I find that my standard or my energy levels sometimes fluctuate. If I have the energy, then I maintain like this standard. If I don't have the energy, what I've done in the past is I've lowered my standard, and I should not do that anymore. So the goal is to make sure that I continue to preserve some for myself. So out of 100% of the energy that is available, that I have to give, that I have to offer, let's say that I exert about 80% of it throughout the day, and I save 10 for myself or whatever that I need personally so that I can fill myself back in. And within the 80%, I make sure that I let whoever I'm interacting with know where I'm at if I'm not able to give them that same level. For example, I was at the counter the other day, and this one lady was like, "Oh, you seem a bit, you don't seem as excited or whatever about, the decision that we're making." I was like, "No, trust, I'm here. I'm just very tired. So I'm here with you, but just bear with me. I'm just very, very tired." And so she understood, and we came up with something really fabulous. And usually it comes in spurts when I'm at that point of like, so I'm discovering for myself that my standard needs to always maintain wherever I set for it to be, regardless of the energy level that I have to give. And if I'm not able to maintain that standard, then I need to shut down that particular task, that particular thought, or the interaction, or whatever it is. I need to not necessarily retreat, but just close it for the day, for the moment, and come back to it when I'm at a fresher mindset. And I think that's best for myself and for everyone else, and to also vocalize that to people, to let them know I'm not able to give you X, Y, and Z, or this is what I can give, or just kind of pull back into myself and then respond when I'm ready. So that's what I'm learning. The other thing about being an example is about your I guess mental endurance. And sometimes you get fatigued because you lose patience, because you feel that, well, if nobody else is up to this level, like, what's the point of me even thinking this much about something, or caring this much about something, or having this much patience if nobody else has this much patience? Those are the things that I think about. And I believe that when you maintain a certain level of endurance, mental toughness, stability, focus, patience, that's what separates you from everyone else, from the status quo. And then you may encourage and inspire others to raise their standard, and they may come to you saying, what is it that you do to do X, Y, and Z, right? So that's something that I'm thinking about as far as like maintaining it. It gets very hard, and what I have to do is I really need to take inventory of my day and my activities and what's going on, and be honest with myself about being able to carry out the necessary tasks for the day. You know what I'm saying? And so in the past, I didn't take inventory of the day. I kind of did, but I would just like just keep going and keep going and keep going. And I remember around 2010, I knew I had a cap of like, I could do it for 3 months, like just go 100%, go all in. And then after that, my body would crash. And then like, as I got older, I know the one time in my life that I got the flu, and that was 2018, I believe. And I know that that was because I was doing a play, I was preparing for a show, and I was working. And so those are 3 major things, like maxing out the hours of my day, right? Like 12-hour days and more. So with that, I have to mentally prepare for whatever it is that I'm about to do going forward, right? And I think some people don't understand, like when I kind of sit and think and just stare, I'm really processing like what's going on and if I can like actually do it or not, or what I need to contribute to the situation. So that's what I'm learning. Taking inventory of the day and actually saying, okay, how does this fit in to my psyche? How much mental energy and space is this going to take? How much physical energy, spiritual, emotional energy is it going to take? Is it worth it to do it right now, or should I do it later? These are all the things that I think about, especially if I also have to push other people to be great outside of my own self. Sometimes when you're pulling that out of people, that takes from you as well. So that is something else that I keep in mind when I'm at my job, when I'm doing music, because you're constantly pouring out as a creative, I feel. And some people on the receiving end don't necessarily realize that, because they're drawn to you naturally, and then because they get filled, it makes them feel amazing and fabulous. Not realizing by the end of your day, fellow creative, you go home and you're like, oh, you know? So what I find for me personally, the podcast, the 10 minutes with Tiffany Jaye, the talking, what I did throughout my surgery recovery process, like that was very therapeutic for me. So I find if I'm not able to get to my friends, I kind of have a internal dialogue with myself, with you know what I'm saying? And then I know that helps me work through my thought process. It helps you just kind of say, okay, she's not the only one that thinks of these things. So yeah. So in order to maintain the standard and maintain the example, let's recap, is to just take inventory of yourself, where you are on all levels, and kind of go from there. And also put up boundaries. I think that's something I didn't necessarily pinpoint. To establish the boundaries with certain people, know where they are as far as in the circles of like how close they are to you and the level of access that they have. And when you do that and you have healthy boundaries and you actually maintain them, that is a way that you can keep yourself aligned, sane, and continue to be the standard. Continue to be the example. Now, I'll probably resurface this and come back to it over and over, because this is like the first week of me accepting, like, okay, I have to do it regardless. Because when your parents leave, when your elders and all the other people that you looked up to and admired, when they leave this earth, then the baton and the responsibility falls on you. And that's kind of what it is, the weight of the responsibility to maintain the standard. What are you going to do? And these are the things that I think about. And if I practice and start it now, oh, how great will I be come years from today? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about. And I'm going to continue to revisit it. And the other thing that I have to keep in mind in maintaining my standard is don't allow what people look like when they're interacting with you to change how you think of them, or change, like, don't think that you know what somebody's thinking just because of what their face looks like. Okay, so keep that in mind, because what other people think is none of your business. Like, you have no idea unless you directly ask them, like, hey, like, so what's on your mind? What are you thinking? And they tell you. But other than that, you don't know. So that's something for me. The people that constantly overthink and overanalyze, don't allow that to stick to you and become a stressor. Let it go. And that's what I'm learning how to do more and more every single day. I only have this much of a mental capacity to keep up with whatever I have to keep up with. And the things that I don't have time to think about, the things that don't necessarily need space in my brain, I say, you know what? And I move it over. This is a new skill that I've learned as of in the last 6 months, because I realize I can't hold on to everybody else's stuff. The stuff that ain't even mine. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's your stuff, it's still gonna be here if it's your stuff, unless you let it go, right? So that's it. Being an example, I hope this helps somebody. I know it helped me. Just kind of work through it. I'm over my 10 minutes, but I just wanted to share that. So you guys enjoy. If you want to take a listen to it, you can play it back. You can listen to the podcast. You got 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts at, or just go straight to my website, www.tjayetaylor.com. Music, art, podcasts, me, news, all that stuff. All right, you guys take care. Enjoy.